In the words of Nelson Mandela, the greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. This poignant sentiment encapsulates the essence of the human spirit, the unyielding determination to survive against all odds. And there's perhaps no better embodiment of this resilience than the inspiring tale of Aron Ralston. Aron Ralston, a name that's become synonymous with survival and resilience, is a mountaineer, outdoorsman, and motivational speaker. Born in the late 70s in Marion, Ohio, Ralston's love for the great outdoors was kindled at a young age. His passion for adventure led him to conquer some of the most challenging terrains across the United States. But Ralston wasn't just any mountaineer. He was the kind of man who sought solitude and thrill in the wilderness, who thrived in the face of adversity, who found communion with nature in the most desolate and inhospitable of landscapes. His adventurous spirit, however, was put to the ultimate test in the spring of 2003 in an ordeal that would forever etch his name in the annals of survival stories. In a remote, isolated part of Utah, in a place known as Blue John Canyon, Ralston's solitary adventure took a turn for the worst. An incident that would have spelled the end for most, instead sparked a fight for survival that lasted 127 grueling hours. This was a test of endurance, of willpower, of the indomitable spirit of man against the unforgiving forces of nature. The tale of Aron Ralston is a testament to the extraordinary resilience of the human spirit, a story of survival that explores the depths of human endurance. It's a story that forces us to question our own limits, to ask ourselves what we're truly capable of when pushed to the brink. And so we delve into the remarkable journey of Aron Ralston, a man who tested the limits of human endurance and emerged victorious. Before the canyon, there was a life filled with adventure and exploration. Aron Ralston, a man whose heart beat to the rhythm of the wild, was no stranger to the call of the untamed. His passion for the outdoors was not a casual hobby, it was a profound part of his identity. Aron's journey wasn't always about scaling the peaks and traversing the valleys. In fact, he began his professional life as a mechanical engineer, a job that provided stability, yet lacked the thrill and freedom he craved. The confines of walls and the hum of machinery were no match for the allure of the wild, of nature's grandeur in its rawest form. And so, he made a decision. A decision that many might consider radical, even reckless. He left his stable job and embarked on a mission to climb all 59 of Colorado's 14ers. These are peaks that tower over 14,000 feet, a challenge that would test the mettle of the hardiest adventurers. Aron was not deterred. He was drawn to the thrill of the climb, the satisfaction of standing atop a mountain, knowing you had conquered it. His life was a testament to the power of passion, the pursuit of dreams, and the sheer will to live life on your own terms. Little did he know, his passion would lead him to the brink of death and back. April 2003, Aron embarked on a routine solo hike in Blue John Canyon, Utah. A seasoned adventurer, Aron Ralston was no stranger to the rugged terrains and unpredictable nature of the wild. His love for the outdoors was insatiable, and he often found himself exploring new trails, pushing his limits. On that fateful day, he set out on what he thought would be another thrilling journey, a journey that would test his strength, endurance, and ultimately, his will to survive. In his excitement and perhaps a touch of overconfidence, Ralston made a choice that would come back to haunt him. He decided not to inform anyone of his hiking plans, a decision, seemingly insignificant at the time, that would drastically impact the course of his adventure. As he treaded on the rough, uneven terrain of the canyon, he came across two hikers. They shared a few pleasantries, exchanged some trail wisdom, and then went their separate ways. Little did Ralston know that these would be the last human faces he'd see for some time. As he continued his journey, navigating through the narrow passages of the canyon, he dislodged a boulder. In a split second, this seemingly ordinary hike turned into a nightmare. The boulder fell, and in a cruel twist of fate, trapped his arm against the canyon wall. Imagine the shock, the disbelief, the dread that must have washed over Ralston in that moment. One moment he was a free man, in his element, breathing in the crisp canyon air, and the next, he was a prisoner, bound by the very nature he loved so much. And just like that, the stakes were raised. This was no longer about conquering a trail or notching another adventure under his belt. This was about survival, about life and death, about facing the unforgiving forces of nature with nothing but sheer will and resilience. In the blink of an eye, Ralston's adventure turned into a fight for survival. Scene script. Trapped and alone, Ralston was left with nothing but his thoughts and a dwindling supply of water. For 127 grueling hours, Aron Ralston found himself anchored to the earth by a boulder in the stark isolation of Blue John Canyon. The vast expanse of the canyon was both his prison and his companion, the silence broken only by the echoes of his attempts to free himself. Ralston's survival instinct kicked into high gear as he rationed his scarce supplies. His water, initially intended to last a day's hike, was now a precious commodity, each drop a lifeline. His food, a couple of burritos and a bag of nuts, became a gourmet feast spread over 5 painstaking days. As the days blurred into nights and his predicament remained unchanged, Ralston's thoughts turned to drastic measures. The boulder had become an extension of himself, an unwelcome appendage pinning him to the unforgiving landscape. His options were dwindling as fast as his water supply. He was faced with a stark choice: his arm or his life. It was a horrifying decision no one should have to make. His life teetered on the edge of this gruesome precipice. With a makeshift tourniquet and a less-than-ideal multi-tool, Ralston made the impossible choice. He chose life. In an excruciating act of self-amputation, he severed the trapped limb, freeing himself from the boulder's cold grip. It was a decision born of desperation, a testament to the sheer power of the human will when faced with the specter of death. This was survival in its rawest form, a dance with mortality that Ralston led with grim determination and unwavering courage. His ordeal was a stark reminder of our own vulnerability, of the thin line that separates life from death, and the strength it takes to cross it when the odds are stacked against us. Ralston's will to survive, his resilience, was put to the ultimate test. And in those 127 hours he proved to himself, and the world, just how resilient a man can be. Survival can be summed up in 3 words: never give up. This was the mantra that echoed through Aron Ralston's mind as he faced a decision that would change his life forever. Trapped in the heart of Blue John Canyon, his arm pinned by an 800-pound boulder, Ralston was faced with a grim reality. 5 days had passed, his provisions were dwindling, and hope was fading. He was caught in a battle against time, nature, and his own physical limits. In this desperate situation, Ralston made a decision that few could fathom. With limited tools and an indomitable spirit, he chose to amputate his own arm. Each stroke of his makeshift blade was a testament to the human will to survive. It was an act of sheer bravery, a painful sacrifice fueled by the overwhelming desire to live. Imagine the mental toll it took on him, the sheer determination required to overcome the physical pain. The act was gruesome, but it signified a powerful will to persist, to fight, to survive. After freeing himself, Ralston embarked on a grueling journey back to civilization, finally being rescued by a family out for a hike. His ordeal was over, but his story of survival had just begun. Against all odds, Aron Ralston had survived. This story is a testament to the human spirit, to our innate drive to overcome, to endure, to persist. It's a reminder that when faced with adversity, the will to survive can indeed make the impossible possible. Aron Ralston's story is not just about survival, but the resilience of the human spirit. His tale doesn't end in Blue John Canyon, but rather it begins anew. Emerging from the shadow of his ordeal, Ralston's love for adventure did not dwindle. Instead, it evolved, becoming a beacon of strength and resilience. He transformed his harrowing experience into a catalyst for change, inspiring others through motivational speaking. He shares his story far and wide, not as a tale of despair but as a testament of courage and an affirmation of the human will to survive. His journey teaches us the power of resilience, the importance of perseverance, and the innate human capacity to adapt and overcome. From Ralston's story, we learn that life's trials are not meant to break us, but to shape us, to make us stronger, more resilient. Remember, life will challenge us, but it is our will to survive and our resilience that define us. In the face of adversity, rise, just like Aron Ralston did.